Hi, Eddie. Thank you so much for being here. Talk about how I manifested myself out of two incurable disease. I should say alleged incurable disease. A quick recap. This situation happened to me twice. I was twice diagnosed with incurable diseases and I manifested myself out of it, and we're gonna go in depth in the process right here, right now. I'm so excited. Okay, so the first time that it happened, I was 6 years old. I had problem with my ears. I had really big problems with my ears. I had needed to get surgery twice a year, if not more often. Sometimes it was third time a year, and it was really it was taking a hold on my life. I tried multiple treatments with multiple different doctors to try to solve this issue, and nothing worked out. After a while, my mom and I were at a loss of option. We didn't know what else to do to heal me, and I was starting school very often, and I was going to be the only black kid in the school. And I was sick, so I was missing school often. So my mom started to get worried about my social integration in school because I wasn't there. And I was sick, and my mom started to get worried about how I was going to be able to make friends in my new school and this and that. So we really wanted to solve the issue as quick as possible. Plus, the surgery I was getting was always cutting in my ear in the same place, and the doctor told me that I had been getting the surgery too much and that he would not be able to perform the surgery for me because it was too much, and I was really young, so we didn't want it to over surgerize me. Okay, so I needed to take a break, and we were at loss of option. We had tried multiple treatment, nothing worked out. We were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What am I going to do for the rest of my life? I can't continue living like this. So my mom did multiple research, and she found out a church. It's actually a cathedral. It's in Sainte-Anne-de-Beaupré in Quebec. And this cathedral is basically famous for healing people. A lot of people who were either blind or deaf had reported being healed after praying in this cathedral. So my mom decided to bring me in this cathedral so that I could go pray and be healed. So that's exactly what we did. The morning, I remember before we went, I had a cute little romper, and we drove all the way to the cathedral. And when we arrived, I remember walking multiple steps and really being concentrated, really being in the energy of I am healed. After I walk out of this cathedral, I am healed. I'm not sick. I'm healthy. And all of those thoughts were going in my mind all from the moment I stepped into the cathedral till I left. So when you walk into the cathedral, you can see testimonial. Plenty of people who were deaf or couldn't walk that came back after being healed, and that let their material. So you can see earplugs for people that are deaf that don't need it anymore. You can see glasses for people that were blind who were able to find back their vision. It's very inspiring, and you really get into the mood, and you really get into the emotion and the mood, and really being concentrated on being healthy, on being one with God, basically. So that's exactly what I did. I was very much concentrated into that. I walked up in a cathedral. My mom brought me speak with the priest, and I explained to him my situation about how I was sick, about how I wanted to be healed, and he instructed me on a prayer to do. And that's what I did. I sat down, maybe for 5 minutes, not even a long time. I sat down on my little Catholic bench, and I prayed, okay? I prayed, and when I walked out of this cathedral, I was convinced that I was healed. And I was, because a couple of years after the situation, I went back at the doctor for a routine exam, and the doctor couldn't believe it. He looked into my ears and he asked me, "What did you do?" And I said, "Oh, my mom brought me this cathedral and I prayed, and I guess that's that." The doctor did not understand how the last time he saw me, I needed to get a surgery like ASAP. And then a couple of weeks after that, I was completely healed. Completely healed. The situation is not completely back to homeostasis, but it's way better, like way better. I don't need to get a surgery for this kind of illness. So I was really happy. I was really proud. To this day, the doctor don't believe me. I think he think that I did something, but I did nothing. I went to the cathedral. I prayed like a good Catholic girl, and I'm healed now. Okay, I'm so happy for this. And even this happened when I was 6 years old, and right now I'm 26, so 20 years ago. And 20 years later, I'm still as healthy as I was after I walked out of this cathedral. So that's the first story of how I manifested myself out of an incurable disease when I was 6 years old. And then we're going to pass to the second time that it happened, because yes, it happened twice. Okay, so the second time it happened was 7 years ago. I was diagnosed with another incurable disease, and I was like, oh God, what is happening in my life? Okay, so 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with another incurable disease, like, oh God. And then I was a little bit panicked at first, but then I relaxed and I remember what I had been able to do when I was younger, and that gave me a drive. That gave me passion to do it again, and I did it again. Okay, I'm so happy. Let's get into the story. So 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with another incurable disease. What happened was I was sick. I went to the hospital. I passed some tests, and basically when I passed the test and the doctor came back in the doctor office, she said the diagnose, and I looked at her dead in the eyes, and in that moment I said, no, I don't have that. I said, no, I don't have that. And I sat back on the bench, and that's on that. No, I don't have that. Okay. And in that moment, the doctor looked at me and she kind of laughed, because I think she knew what I was doing. Okay. And then she just started to proceed to explain to me the medication for this. And I said, okay. And I took the medication. I did everything the doctor told me to do. And I just kept going on my life. But I never took the identity of somebody that was sick. I never did that, okay? Since she told me that I had to diagnose, I said, no, I don't have this illness. And then I went about my life. Still did the medication, still did the treatment, still went for my test. But I never saw myself. I never believed that that was who I was. I never did that with any of the disease, okay? That's very important. Okay, I did what I called embodied visualization. Okay, so it's but it's when you do visualization and you're embodied in that visualization. So you have feelings, you have smell, you have touch. The speed is slow. You have time to see all the details and to observe and really observe and receive that reality within yourself. Okay. That's what I called embodied visualization. And that's what I did for 3 years. So basically, I would see myself walking in the doctor office, sitting down in a chair, waiting for the doctor to call my name, walking in the office, sitting down, waiting, because we wait in the doctor office, okay, waiting, and then her coming back and saying, oh, you don't have that. You don't have that. Oh, you don't have that. And that's what I did for 3 years consistently. And all that time where I did my embodied visualization, I was absolutely convinced that I did not have this thing, okay? That I did not have this illness. So that's pretty much what happened. And then 3 years after doing that, I went back to pass some test, and the test came back negative. I was arguing with my doctor. I wanted to be back on the medication, and she said, no, you don't have the illness. I can put you back on the medication you don't have any kind of diagnosis for. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so I guess I'm healed. So yeah, after that, I really wanted to be convinced, so I passed the test multiple times. I got it okay by multiple different doctors that all said that I don't have the diagnosis. Some even said that they don't even understand why I was on the medication in the first place, because I don't have the diagnosis. But I remember being in that doctor office in a different town and being diagnosed for this. I remember seeing the diagnosis. I remember taking the medication for the diagnosis. And basically, I was able to cure myself with my manifesting power, okay? Even though maybe, like, whatever, manifestation, woohoo, like, whatever. I believe into this, you do you. So, yes, that's basically the story on how I was able to cure myself out of 2 alleged incurable disease. And I'm very much happy. That kind of concludes the first video on my channel. What I want to talk about is exactly what I have been able to do: visualization, meditation, inner work, spirituality, just sharing my journey with you guys. If somebody's watching, I absolutely love creating videos. That was so fun for me. I absolutely love sharing my story. I'm not done growing. My story is always evolving. So I will be sharing this kind of content on my channel. I'm working on getting a mic, so the sound quality will improve. And on that, I wish you all a great day, a great night, whatever time you're watching. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.